What's up, guys? Mcdoubles back again with a brand new video. In this video, I got a handful of pre-approved, you could say I chose them myself, but the devs approved me talking to you guys about them, of the new enchants coming out with Season 8. Now, I desperately wanted to do this. I'll explain it all. They're really badass, and it's a teaser that you're only going to see on this channel, of course. So I hope you guys enjoy. Let's jump right in. Okay, guys, so in this video, I'm going to show you guys a handful of brand new enchants that you're literally not going to see anywhere else, and they're doing everything in their power to prevent you guys from seeing these early for good reason. It destroys the hype, but I have got permission to show a handful of them and talk about them with you guys, and we'll look at that today. I think we're all excited to go back to the Ascension community, especially if you're playing Classic. One thing I do just want to say is, like, listen, guys, I have, obviously nomenclature that I use in real life for my video making, that really is just a me-only thing, because, like, who else am I going to talk about video making with in real life? Nobody does it. And one of them is I have cringe bits, I have funny bits, PvP bits, high-risk bits. Like, and what's a cringe bit? Well, a cringe bit doesn't happen often. You're not supposed to make them happen often from what I've learned, because they're cringy. But what I like to do is showcase real experiences that happen on the internet that typically none of us get any kind of justice for because, well, nobody's watching you and no one's ever going to care and you're not recording all the time. And I put them out there and we can all laugh at it and we can, you know, have opinions. One thing I've realized is that Classic WoW, like, it's hard for me not to have cringe bits in every video, multiple of them, because there's so much cringe happening constantly with that community. Compared to on Ascension, where I have like 300 Ascension videos and maybe 10% of them feature a cringe bit somewhere. And you guys know what I mean if you watch my channel, right? So what I'm excited to do is get back into the happy feelings. Like, we're all ready to go trying new stuff. The community's excited. There's less toxicity, less garbage, less elitism, because it's fresh. I'm excited, and this is what this video encompasses. We're going to check out these new enchants, and it's just going to be happy. And guys, I've got some doozies to show you. So let's jump into the very first one I want to show you guys. We'll be doing it on Cheddar Jack, and I'll just be plopping them up on the screen, and we'll see if maybe we can, you know, figure out how these might play on the surface level. But ultimately, maybe it'll give you guys some ideas of what you want to build when the expansion actually comes out on October 28th. Okay, guys, so I had to take a break from that last clip I showed you guys because I just had to make sure I actually was allowed to show some of this stuff. I did get some approved, and so as I said, we're going to show a handful of them, and yeah, let's just begin. I'm going to start with the epics I have approved first, and then we'll go to the legendaries, just to give you guys an idea of what's coming out. So first things first, we have Ragefire Cleave, bro. So this is giving you an idea. Keep in mind that even though I'm only showing you some of these, a lot of enchants are coming out that are kind of in the same parameters of what I'm showing you right now, let's just say. So Ragefire Cleave, this is a world forged mystic enchant, meaning you have to collect it out in the world somehow. It says hitting cleave on a target affected by ignite gives you a stack of Ragefire. Now, Ragefire says your attack speed is increased by 1% up to 5%. Upon hitting 5 stacks, your next cleave procs Ragefire Cleave. Ragefire Cleave says your next cleave does your weapon damage plus who knows how much fire damage to your target and his nearest enemy. So we are getting another way to incorporate fire magic into the warrior toolkit. I'm thinking, guys, Battle Mage, right? Battle Mage with Fire Blast. Boom. You have a literal Battle Mage. You use Cleave. Cleave is proccing Fire Blast. Cleave is also now doing fire damage. It's increasing attack speed. What does that mean, by the way, guys? That means you take Flame Tongue Weapon. That means you go into Flame Tongue Weapon synergies, which is already good with attack speed in a variety of different builds. This is literally building itself. So, Cleave plus Battle Mage stands out. But who knows? Maybe you just plop Cleave onto, I don't know, some other type of build, something along the lines of Lava Sweep or something like that, and it might still work. But I like the Battle Mage aspect, to be real with you. But yeah, that's the very first one. Ragefire Cleave, really cool. Who knows how we're going to get it? Again, a World Forged Mystic enchant is a normal enchant that you acquire from either killing somebody, finding it in a chest somewhere, maybe from a dungeon boss, or from a world, not boss, but let's say a rare, something like that, right? And yeah, apparently Ragefire Cleave comes from something. Maybe it comes from Ragefire Chasm, you know? Okay, so, by the way, I did get to select these myself, so I am the reason you guys get to see these very specific enchants. I went through a lot of them. I picked out interesting ones. The next one, Shield of the Emperor. Now, I do want to say that the guy that even gave me access to this stuff was an individual who goes by the name of Cutie, and he is a part of what I now know of as a guild on Ascension called the Academy. Ascension forced him to take it down for the general public, but I'm assuming his guild still has full access to seeing everything, but he gave me access to seeing everything once again as well. So that's where I got all of this from. So big shout out to him and his guild, the Academy. You guys are pretty cool. I appreciate it. Maybe check out their YouTube videos. They have some stuff out there where they show Ascended stuff. And we plan to do some Ascended stuff as well with Season 8. But the reason I chose this next epic, Shield of the Emperor, is because he pointed it out as one of the more interesting ones that he was looking forward to. Now, this says it requires Shield Slam, requires Avatar, and requires the talent Impact, which stuns a target, as you can see here, for 1.5 seconds with a Fire Blast. So you need Fire Blast theoretically as well. His Shield Slam procs the ability for Fire Blast to now stun a target for 1.5 seconds. Very interesting. Now, it also procs Avatar, so I think what this literally means is now you have a chance when you Shield Slam to just go into Avatar. Who knows what the percentage is, but it says obviously with Avatar you get 15% more physical damage, take 30% reduced damage, and you move at 80% speed, and you're also immune to immobilizing effects, so you can't be rooted, for example. So you're just proccing this. This sounds like it's a PvP-oriented spec, right? At the very bare minimum, you Shield Slam. Let's say you proc Impact, right? Well, I guess you Fire Blast there. Boom, they're stunned. And then maybe you proc an Avatar. Boom, you're doing more damage. You're moving a little bit slower. It's probably not that deep because you're taking 30% reduced damage as well. Really interesting shield-based, what could be a DPS PvP spec. Not too sure. At the very bare minimum, you could also say, Mcdoubles, couldn't this actually be a decent addition to some kind of fire tank? Yeah, I think you might actually be right. I mean, is it going to be impactful to stun people with Fire Blast? Maybe, maybe not. But then you could say, hey, but wait, Mcdoubles, can't you Fire Blast and Immolate and spread it to everybody? And that's part of what could make a fire tank really badass with maybe the Blaze enchant as well? Yes, actually, yes, you could. And now you're stunning the initial target as well just by playing your class with Shield Slam. That's freaking badass, bro. So I'm looking forward to maybe making a fire tank or a PvP spec with that as well. Okay, and the next one, I obviously chose this because the tooltip was hilarious, but I think this is a meme. It is World Forge though, so just like the last one was as well, by the way, but you have to find it somewhere. Someone's gonna be really pissed when this is the one they find, but it's funny. It's called Bone Toss. You toss a bone in an attempt to bone your target for 100 damage. Please let that amount of damage be good. This ability causes high threat because no one wants to get boned. It's like, okay, so what is this really, though? It's a throw weapon for warriors. That's what it looks like to me. I mean, really, is it not heroic throw, I think is what it was called. So, hey, you have that as an option now. Maybe you want something like that. Now, on to another really fun one. Syndicate Sniper Shot. Your boy has been begging for an ability to play a stealth archer for a very long time, and they have finally done it with Syndicate Sniper Shot. This requires stealth and ambush. It teaches you Syndicate Sniper Shot, if you know ambush, which says ambush a target, causing 305% weapon damage plus 33 to the target. I'm assuming this is at range because it's called Sniper Shot, and it awards 2 combo points as well. Also, stealth changes, or at least it gets an added effect, which says, upon casting Syndicate Sniper Shot, you go back into stealth for 2 seconds. Will this be cancer in PvP? It's very possible, and I'm gonna really have a lot of enjoyment making that happen, to be real with you. This is a stealth archer, bro, and I've always said, give me an enchant that changes ambush into a ranged variant, balance it around that, and let someone have fun, you know, playing like a Night Elf archer with this. And you know what? That's exactly what I'm probably going to do. So there you go. Syndicate Sniper Shot. How would you make this work? It's hard to say. There's so many different things, but they did just buff all the hunter abilities like, what, like 2 patches ago or something like that? Lots of people playing aim shot builds, lots of people playing combo point archer. Maybe it literally goes with compound shot. It's interesting because you could still have compound power shot, whatever it's called, right? It's the aim shot transform, and you could still use Syndicate Sniper Shot to proc combo points that then go towards a 5 count, like compound shot. That's really cool. I really like that idea. So that's all the epics, guys. I want to make this a shorter video though. Let's get into the legendaries I have chosen for you guys. Trust me, I didn't screw you guys. I chose some cool ones, but let's start from the very bottom. First up, my friends, we have Curse of Arugal. Okay, well, another World Forge Mystic enchant. I'll just go ahead and say now, I looked at all of these. They're all World Forge enchants. So all of the ones I'm showing you right now, you have to collect. They're not just like the regular ones you find out, you know, doing random stuff. And they're not on the auction house either. You have to go out of your way to get these. So, okay, let's see. It requires cat form, so we have more cat form stuff, but it's good. You don't have that much, to be honest, compared to bear form. Transforms you into a Worgen, which allows casting cat abilities and shadow abilities. While in this form, it also teaches you something called Arugal's Gift, which I don't have a screenshot for, so who knows, but it says it's a dot, so we could just assume that it's a shadow dot. This also says it increases your shadow spell power by 15% of your attack power. So we're going to get a shadow cat form basically now, but you're a Worgen. You can use shadow abilities, so you would say, what does that even mean? Like, what shadow abilities besides Arugal's Gift would I be using? I don't know, to be honest with you. I couldn't tell you, but it's a very interesting concept. I'm assuming there's going to be some more support for this somewhere, or something I'm not thinking of right off the top, but transforms into a Worgen and gives you the ability to do Cat and Shadow. Interesting, right? Shadow Dot with Arugal's gift, 15% of your attack power is Shadow spell power. It's cool. It's another way to play a Shadow Warrior, but actually have a transform effect that I think a lot of people are going to really enjoy. So that's a really badass one. A little ambiguous. We don't know much about it yet based on what I can see. Now let's get to one that we do know more about, Darkmaster. Now, one of the things you guys have been talking about, I see you guys ask Dutch this all the time in World Chat or something like that, is where's the support for the brand new Tame Undead, or whatever they call it, Dominate Undead, Enslave Demon, all that? Well, they're adding some. Darkmaster is one of them. This says your Dominated Undead and Enslaved Demon applies Necromancer's Touch when dealing damage with their abilities. It takes damage equal to 5% of its max HP every time it applies Necromancer's Touch. So there's some weirdness there, like your pet could maybe die, but every time your pet attacks, he applies Necromancer's Touch. Now, Shadow Bolt and Haunt give you Harvested Essence. If Drain Soul is used with 5 stacks of Harvested Essence, it will apply a stack of Afflicted Soul every tick of damage. Upon hitting 15 stacks, it applies Ruptured Soul. Drain Life only heals for 20% of the damage dealt, but now also heals your Dominated Undead and Enslaved Demons. So interesting, and also just full, loaded. This is a loaded legendary enchant. So let's see what some of this stuff actually does that they mentioned in the tooltip. We have it down here. Necromancer's Touch, taking 20% more damage from Drain Life, stacking up to 10 times. Interesting. Harvested Essence, your next Drain Life or Drain Soul has a 10% reduced cast time, and it will hit 10% faster, stacking up to 5 times. So you're gonna literally Drain Soul. It's gonna go super duper fast. You're gonna be healing your pet. Your pet's going to be attacking and applying some kind of damage over time, I believe, to your target, which is interesting. It says it applies Necromancer's Touch, so no, it applies taking 20% more damage from Drain Life to your target. Okay, so that's what your pet does. Your pet makes it to where Drain Life does more damage, and then you use Drain Life, it goes even faster. And then what's next? Ruptured Soul. Target takes 20% increased damage from the caster's shadow damage over time effects, lasting 30 seconds. Okay, so we got a Haunt build with Shadow Bolt procs and Drain Life. So this is literally a Nightfall build, but it wants you to have a Dominated Undead or an Enslaved Demon, so you have to pick the right one that you think is going to be good for you. And it quite literally requires Drain Life to be your spammable, which is very, very fun for people, I think, because what this is basically going to come down to is Haunt, apply your dots like a Warlock would, Shadow Bolt when it procs, but Drain Life otherwise. And so it's what you would want, but you could have any Dominated Undead, whether that's an A-Bomb, or any Enslaved Demon, whether it's like a Felguard, or, you know, those Shiva dudes that have like 6 arms, like anything like that. And that's going to be, you know, playing into this as well. It's also potentially really strong for PvP, because you're going to be healing for a lot with those 50% reduced cast time, Drain Lives, right? It's interesting. And so that's a pretty cool one I thought you guys might want to see. Now, the next one that we've got is Serpent Form. Trust me, guys, I came in for you. I know you guys would want to see this one early, so this is what it is. This is another cat form transformation ability, which is already amazing because they've added support for cat form once again. Lots of people don't like normal cat form. Well, here's a new transform. We had Worgen before, and now we have Serpent Form. Claws transformed into Serpent Strike, Rip is transformed into Serpent Venom, and Ferocious Bite is transformed into Venomous Fury, and let's check all those out. So, first of all, what does Serpent Form do? Shapeshift into Serpent Form, increasing melee attack power by 40 plus 50% of your agility, and causing your auto attacks to deal bonus nature damage. Allows the use of various cat abilities as well, and that's going to be the new versions, Serpent Strike being the next one. Claw the enemy, causing 27 damage and increasing the damage you deal with instant poison and deadly poison by 3%. This is going to be broken. I can already tell you, I didn't have to read the whole thing to know it's broken. Why is it going to be broken? Well, Poison Cat is already broken, and they just literally created a dedicated build to it. Like a wholeheartedly dedicated build called Serpent Form to the Poison Cat variant, which is already first place DPS. It's already one of the best builds in the game right now. So this is already a little sus, because I know it's going to be strong, but nobody wants to play cat. No offense to cat players. You are, you know, very, very special because there's very few of you. But a lot of people don't want to do that. Serpent Form, though, that sounds really cool. That's pretty badass. You could have a lot of, like, flavor of the month Serpent Form players now. But we'll keep reading and find out. Serpent Venom is the combo point finisher ability. Finishing move that poisons your target. Damage increases per combo point. So that's cool. That's the Rip one. So instead of bleeding, you poison them. And lastly, the Ferocious Bite variant Venomous Fury. Finishing move that causes nature damage per combo point and converts every extra point of energy energy, same thing as like Ferocious Bite, right, into 10.5 additional damage. So it's nature damage. So it's all nature, all the time, all poison, smacking people with crazy serpent-based abilities. That is badass, and it's going to be broken. I can already tell you now. Unless they nerf something that I don't know about, if cat poisons is already good, it's about to get a hell of a lot better, right? And lastly, guys, the last one I wanted to show you guys, because like the names here were weird, but also it's something I think a lot of people have been asking for, which is another way to mix different types of magic, especially opposites, right? Like in this regard, fire and frost, into something cohesive that feels good. Okay, so we've got Warden of Demonreach. This is interesting. It requires Pyroblast. It transforms Pyroblast into two abilities, Fuego and Arctis. So somebody's learning Spanish. Arctis grants you Gathering Will. Fuego grants you Winter's Mantle. And you cannot proc Hot Streak. Wow. So this is not a Hot Streak build, which is good because it's forcing you to be unique, right? So what does Fuego and Arctis do? So Fuego unleashes Pure Fire that causes, who knows, but it seems like it could be a decent amount of damage plus more fire damage over time and gives you something called Winter's Mantle. Arctis, same exact thing, frost damage over time. You don't see that often, but gives you Gathering Will. Now, here's what these buffs, you could say, do. Gathering Will increases the damage and critical strike chance of your next Fuego. I can't even say Fuego without thinking that's funny. Direct fire damage spells with a cast time grant additional stacks of Gathering Will. Interesting. At 4 stacks, Fuego will deal additional damage to nearby targets. So direct fire damage spells with a cast time grant additional stacks of Gathering Will, and that means you need 4 different casts, or just one that you cast 3 extra times on top of the first time that you get the proc from using Fuego itself. And actually, that's an interesting thing to keep in mind. So I don't have any clue how this is going to work, but some different spells would be Soulfire and Fireball off the top of my head, Incinerate as well. So those would be different ways that you could, oh, and Lava Burst is coming out. Ooh, okay. That you could proc this brand new way of making Fuego superpowered and do AoE. Same exact thing, by the way, for the next one, Winter's Mantle. And it's not exactly what I said, right? Because you have to Arctis first for your first stack of Gathering Will, and then Fire. And then for the other one, you have to Fuego first for the Winter's Mantle, and then apparently start doing direct frost damage with a cast time as well to get Arctis to do additional damage, which is interesting because as far as I could tell, that's just Frostbolt, right? I don't really know if there's any other frost cast time spells. So maybe there are. Again, I'm doing this off the cuff for you guys. We're just looking at all this together, but this is really weird. So the whole point of this is that you're going back and forth. Fire, ice, fire, and ice, fire. Power up the fire. Boom, blow them up. Oh, back to ice maybe? Or maybe some people are going to say, screw Fuego, or maybe not. They're going to use it originally, but maybe they say, screw fire, screw ice. I'm going to hyper focus on just one, and I'm going to Fuego one time and go full frost, or I'm going to Arctis one time and go full fire. We don't know, but this is what I wanted to show you guys today, so I hope you guys enjoy. I just wanted to show you guys a handful of approved enchants that I'm allowed to talk to you guys about and get that hype out there, because most humans are not going to be able to see this stuff until it comes out, and it's very possible that we don't even know where these come from yet, obviously, so you might not see them even when they do come out for quite a while, but now it's going to be on your radar. So if you enjoyed this video, this little teaser for all these enchants coming up, make sure to give it a like and to subscribe, but I'll see you guys in the next one. Mcdoubles out.